Hi, this is Edward Troxel. In today's tutorial, we're going to take a look at pan crop and see if we can restore the values. So if we have adjusted the pan crop settings, it would be similar to right-clicking and choosing Restore. Let's take a look at a sample project. Here's a project where I have a couple of images. This one is a horizontal image, so if we went in here, what we want to do is if we right-click and chose Restore. For now, I'm going to go ahead and just adjust this so that we have some different settings on it. Now this one is a vertical image, and so we're going to do the same thing here. So it would be what we would want to do if we right-clicked and chose Restore. We want to get it back to this. So right now I'm going to just adjust a little bit, and we'll just start with this and see if we can get it to restore. So let's take a look at some code to try to get it to restore. Here's the code we're going to try. This is our main routine, so we just start with our myVegas equals Vegas. Then we're going to go for each track, my track and myvegas.project.tracks. Then I'm going to check to see if it is a video track, because obviously I can't restore a pan crop unless it's video. And then I'm going to go for each video event. This is a little bit different than what we've done in the past. Since I'm looking at a video track, I want to look specifically at video events. And so video event, and I just called it V event in mytrack.events. And then if it is selected, if the V event is selected, then the first thing I'm going to do is get the video stream, which I called VS. So I'm going to convert it to a video stream from video event.activeTake.media.streams, get item by type. I want video, and I want the one that's being shown. Generally speaking, this is always going to be 0. But it is possible for there to be multiple video streams and a different video stream was shown. So we're going to get the ActiveTake stream index. Next thing I'm going to do is set up a couple of integer variables. I'm going to get the height, which I'm going to get from vs.height, and I'm going to get the width, which I'm going to get from vs.width. Then we're going to go through and do the pan crop reset. So the first thing I'm going to do is clear any keyframes there are, so that if there are multiple keyframes on this event, it's going to clear them, but there will always be one remaining because you have to have a beginning keyframe. And so now I'm going to get the keyframe from the video event, video motion keyframes, and I'm going to get the 0th one, which is always the first one. Remember, arrays are 0 based. Next, I'm going to get the motion bounds, which I'm just calling MB from kf.bounds. So from this keyframe, I'm getting the bounds. Then I'm going to set the top left equal to 0, 0. The top right is the width and 0. The bottom left is 0 and the height. And then the bottom right is the width and the height. Now notice the video motion vortex is expecting float values, so that's why we use 0f here to say that 0 is a float value. And then for the width and the height, we put the float in parentheses in front of it to convert it to a float. Next, I'm going to set the keyframe.bounds to my newly modified bounds. Then I'm going to set the keyframe.rotation equal to 0. That way, if it had been rotated, it will restore that as well. So let's see how this works. It's only going to work with selected items, so I have both of them selected. Here's the first one, here's the second one. So let's run the script. And we go in and look at this first one, and it appears that everything is totally correct here. Now we'll go in and look at the second one, and things are not correct here. For some reason, it is wider than we want it to be, and it is not as tall as we want it to be. So this should be down here, and the width should be here, so an actual restore would have brought it back to this. Let's go back and look at the program and see what might have gone wrong here. Okay, so let's go back up here. We've set the width and the height in these two lines. Let's see what the width and the height are on these two images. And that way we can see exactly what we're looking at. So we just add this message box.show, and the width equals m width and the height equals m height. Run it again. And we see the width on the first one is 4032 and the height is 3024. The width on the second one is 4032 and the height is 3024. So if we're looking at these, it appears that both have the same width and both have the same height, yet one is horizontal and one is vertical. So how can that be? We know that the width of the vertical one is smaller than the height, and yet in this case it's telling me the width is 4032 and the height is 3024 on the vertical one. So let's dig a little deeper and see if we can figure out what's going on. When you take a picture with your phone and you have the phone rotated, it actually takes the same picture as if you had not rotated, but it just tells Vegas that it is rotated. So what we need to do is look at the VS rotation. That's the video stream, VS rotation. So if the VS.rotation equals video output rotation dot quarter turn clockwise, or the VS rotation equals video output rotation dot quarter turn counterclockwise. If that image has been turned to get vertical, then we're actually going to set the height equal to the width and the width equal to the height. So we're just going to reverse the width and the height. The rest of this remains the same. So let's see what happens with this change right here to check to see if the image has been rotated a quarter turn. So now let's run the script again. And we can see that this one looks like it is fully restored, just like before. And when we go to the other one, it is now fully restored to the original width and height, just like it was before. So we can come back to here and see it is at its original size. So as you can see, there are some little tricks that you sometimes need to look at in order to determine exactly what you are seeing. In this case, when the image was rotated to vertical, the width and the height were the same. It's just that the flag was set that it was rotated. So we had to check that rotation flag and then adjust the script accordingly so that we basically just reversed the width and the height because it had been rotated. Hope you find this tutorial useful. Please like and subscribe, and let me know what tutorials you'd like to see in the future.
Please sign up at www.JETDV.com and subscribe on YouTube to get further notifications on when new videos are presented.